A challenge to a racer's most delicate quality, his ego. Nowhere else are the course and the competition so one-sided. Here it's more about the need than the speed. The adventure is officially underway. Robbie Bell already many miles from Ensenada, with Cabo San Lucas more than 1,200 miles away. So far to travel and so many obstacles to overcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Bill Weber. Drivers from more than 40 states and 7 foreign countries have come here to Ensenada to begin their precarious journey in the 40th running of the Baja 1000. This year's course is actually 1,296.39 miles. More than 430 vehicles are entered in various classes, but for nearly half of those, the race will end long before the finish line in Cabo San Lucas. Still, for all that try, the gauntlet is perhaps the most grueling in all of motorsports. Weather, darkness, fatigue, frustration. Some drivers will simply get lost. And the toughest opponent is the terrain. The course changes not by the day or by the hour, but by the minute. It's a course occasionally booby-trapped by some mischievous locals hoping to add their own brand of excitement to Baja. Still, the best in the world are back. And now, with another one of the hundreds of stories in the 40th running of the Baja 1000, here's Marty Snyder.
Bill, one of those great stories is Robbie Gordon, a 3-time Baja 1000 winner, back for his 20th Baja 1000 this year. As you can tell, he's one of the most popular guys here in Baja as well. I talked to Robbie moments ago. He told me the challenge is what brings him back, the challenge of the 1,300-mile course. And plus, this is grassroots racing. As we said, his 20th Baja 1000, trying to win it for the 4th time.
After leaving the downtown portion of the course, the competitor can finally get the true feel of Baja. This is Robbie Bell from Team Honda on his way to Ojos Negros. Many have made practice runs along certain stretches of the course, but there's no way to imitate the rush a rider gets once he's taken the green flag and feels the dirt and the desire of Baja while on the clock under real race conditions. Just ask Quinn Cody from the KTM team. Now another countdown is about to begin, this time for the many classes of trucks that will try to tame Baja. The first truck out is Guerin Caliente. From the very beginning, the driver and his navigator must negotiate the maze of turns and jumps that take them on a path out of Ensenada and into the desert. Here's the number 3 Riviera truck with an all-star roster of drivers: Mark Post, Rob McCachran, and Carl Rennesenter. In fact, this year the fans know the field is loaded with big names from throughout the racing world. Many have achieved tremendous success in motorsports, but they all know that Baja is a completely different world. Off-road racing veteran Robbie Gordon knows how to give the fans an added thrill right from the start. The course begins along a human corridor of cheering fans, and you can't get much closer to the action than the fans at Baja do. Veteran driver Cameron Steele doing double duty at Baja. This day started on a motorcycle, and now he's about to take off in a pink truck.
Didn't ride as far as I wanted to. I passed it off early, and now I'm back to my baby doll, Rosita.
That color pays tribute to his mother. She passed away 10 years ago from cancer. Robbie Gordon and the other stars on their way, and the fans already wondering how many will they find at the finish line.
This is my very first Baja 1000. I mean, as you can see by the sights, it's totally insane. I'm pumped up about it, but I'm also nervous, not ever doing this before. I can't believe how many people come here, and I'm excited and nervous all at the same time.
That's my NBC booth partner, Wally Dallenbach, off the mic and up on the wheel. And that is the same feeling many veteran racers experience at Baja. Here it is you against the course and the clock. But when it comes to motorcycles, there is a huge rivalry between Honda and KTM. The course is carved out through the desert. 22-year-old Robbie Bell making his own path. Bell joining the lead Honda team in 2007. He competed in his first race at the age of 5 and has finished second overall the last 2 years at Baja. Quinn Cody is doing the early work for KTM. Now, all these riders know how valuable victory is to the manufacturer. Each carries a pack on his back, but the weight of a strong start is squarely on his shoulders, because Baja bragging rights are right now on the line for everyone involved.
I feel pretty confident that we can go out there and beat the Honda team. Honda's been down here, they've been doing it for the last 12, 13 years. Now it's pretty much just going to be Honda versus KTM, it seems like.
it's more important to just get the bike to the next rider intact and give him a perfect bike. And I've really focused on that for this race, you know, not worrying about the competition, not racing anybody else, just racing Baja.
Robbie Bell and Honda against KTM and the terrain of Baja. The truck's on course. This is the Red Bull ride of Andy McMillan. And the helicopter shot gives us a good look at how narrow the course can be and how rugged it truly is. As a driver, you're never sure how deep is the next rut or exactly what is around the next turn. Here's Tim Herbst. That's a terrible Herbst truck. In this race, experience is a plus because one key to blazing your way through Baja is knowing that the unknown is a certainty.
This truly is an adventure. I mean, we're doing something that pioneers did 70, 80, 100 years ago. And people say, well, what is off-road racing? Well, off-road racing started when the first pioneers got in a covered wagon and came from the East Coast to the West Coast. They had no clue what they were doing, but they did it, and they survived.
And Baja is all about surviving. If being fearless can help you win at Baja, then this team should have had high hopes. That's the truck of Alan Fearless Pfluger. Unfortunately, they have trouble early in the event after running in the second position. Etched into the memory of every winner at Baja is the crushing disappointment of losing. Out here, help is much more than just a cell phone call away. Friends and even teammates know the price you pay for stopping. You saw Robbie Gordon, a teammate of Pfluger, go by with little more than just a wave. Headaches and heartbreaks are as much a part of the history here as champagne and celebration. The desert can destroy your equipment and shatter your self-confidence. Sometimes you can fix your truck, but the hardest part might be restoring your conviction. There is the truck of B.J. Baldwin. So far, so good. In racing, it's usually the driver that has established a reputation for his style and success. Here it is the race that has a reputation. A nasty personality that seemingly wants no one to win. Baldwin's co-driver is Danny Anderson, who will be behind the wheel later in the event. Racing is a mix of energy and excitement, and that's not just for the competitors, but also for the fans. A Baja tradition seems to be how close one can get to the course. Even in the desert, race fans want a close-up view. But Baja can also leave a racer with a feeling of loneliness, too. Often, you never see the competition. You're simply chasing a trail of dust that takes you to the middle of nowhere and beyond. Baja veteran Robbie Gordon weaving his way across the desert. Gordon is the defending champion of the Baja 1000 and a three-time overall winner. This year, he's chasing his fourth Baja win, and Robbie's pre-race plan was to drive the first 400 miles, then get back behind the wheel for the last 200. He's a former member of the Red Bull team. A year ago, he teamed with Andy McMillan for the win, and that's Andy in the Red Bull truck in pursuit of Gordon. Only a fortunate few will escape the devilish demands of the desert. Victory at Baja is not measured by where you finished. It is measured by did you finish. And this year, for nearly 200 competitors, the answer will simply be no. The 40th running of the Baja 1000 has begun. And for some, the question is, how quickly will it end?
But fortunately, when you get older, you don't have to impress the chicks anymore. So I don't have to drive the whole race anymore. It was never a question, am I going to do the Baja 1000? Some way I found to come down here and do it. There's nothing like the Baja 1000.
The fans all know Rod Hall, and many of them have been here for hours, watching and waiting for Hall and his Hummer to lumber through the wash area and put Ensenada in his rear view mirror. Back to the bikes, and the rivalry roars on. Robbie Bell on his Honda. He's being chased by the talented team from KTM. You're never quite certain where the leader is, or are you the new leader? You race as hard as you can, as smart as you can. Few landmarks, no convenience stores, just the thundering sound of your beating heart and the purr of a racing engine. These riders began in the early morning hours in Ensenada, and they are now approaching the 200-mile mark. Just about 1,100 miles to go. In third place is another Honda team, led by Tim Morton. Now, we've talked about the challenge the terrain brings, but riders also have to be alert for non-race vehicles they will find on the course. Some are chase vehicles. Others are simply on their way to town on what passes for a road in the desert. That's Baja. Over 1,300 miles, these guys will see it all. All the riders for the lead Honda team are happy to welcome Robbie Bell. He came aboard thanks to the invitation of superstar Johnny Campbell.
It was pretty cool because, you know, I'd kind of looked up to him and knew the whole history of, you know, Baja and stuff from my dad and everything, and knew what he had accomplished down here. And so for him to see some potential in me down here, it was definitely very gratifying.
Trying to complete the 1,300 miles in this year's Baja 1000 is a grueling task for any team, but a handful have tried to make the challenge even more difficult. They want to go it alone, all 1,296 miles. One of them is Travis Pastrana of Team Red Bull. The odds in the course are both against him. The sky now bright blue and the temperature climbing. The KTM team still in pursuit. Their inspiration comes from Chris Blaze, a teammate seriously injured while competing earlier this year.
In the Vegas-Reno pre-run, Chris Blaze crashed and he broke his back. You know, he's the head of this operation. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I don't know if we'd even be down here. You know, Chris is a really strong rider, but now that he doesn't ride, I mean, he's even a stronger person. We haven't really told him anything we're riding for him, but basically he knows. He kind of knows we're kind of doing it for him.
All the members of KTM, alone with their thoughts, but all the while sharing the seat with teammate Chris Blaze. Some of the trucks now passing through Ojos Negros. Caliente in the 38. Through the narrow path, now up the hill. The challenge never ends. Robbie Gordon in the 71. Remember, he's the defending champion. Robbie likes to race a lot of things, and he loves to win at Baja. But there is trouble ahead for Gordon. Later in the race, he will be forced to drive a portion of the night with nothing to light the way except a handheld portable lamp. There's a battle for position shaping up between the silver 33 Toyota Tundra of Chad Ragland and the red number 19 of Tim Herbst. The Herbst family has had a lot of good luck in the Baja 1000. Troy Herbst has won the Class 1 title the last 3 years. Right now, it's Tim on the move in the trophy truck division. Wally Dalleback has won road racing championships and competed in many forms of motorsports, but this is his first time competing at Baja.
You're going down these roads and you're flying at 80 miles per hour, and there are people lined up alongside of the road. And at first, I was kind of being careful. It's like, man, yeah, I don't want to hit anybody. But then after a while, you get used to it, and you're sitting there going, man, I hope these guys get out of the way because I can't lift.
Many of the stories of success and failure at Baja would make Hollywood jealous. Actor Patrick Dempsey is back to see for himself.
It's a very special event. It's unlike anything you've ever done before, and I think that and the excitement of it, and I think my first words of wisdom was expect the unexpected, and I think that's probably in essence what it's all about.
This is the third consecutive year competing in the Baja 1000 for Patrick, and he's become enchanted with the experience. One man that keeps coming back is Larry Rossler in the number 100 truck. He's competing in Class 1. Stories of success and failure are endless at Baja. No one knows more about the dangers in the desert than Rossler.
Maybe a lot of guys don't want to admit to it. We know it's dangerous, you know, and I would never say that, oh no, it's not dangerous. I mean, come on. Weird things happen out there. You got to be heads up, not to mention the speeds that we're going of just a plane crash on your own.
Larry should know all about Baja. He has 15 class wins in this event. Here comes the Volkswagen of Jerry Hill. This is a story of two veterans, the driver and the car. Hill has a long history here, but Volkswagen is a vehicle that knows a little bit about Baja as well. trophy trucks are the undisputed kings of Baja, but the sentimental favorite, as well as the overall winningest car in Baja, are the VW Bugs. Driven by privateers with little financial support, the VW class has got a huge boost this year when Volkswagen offered $40,000 in contingency awards to the gladiators who conquer Baja in a bug.
I think, you know, the trophy trucks are about the most amazing vehicles out there. They're so technically sophisticated. In our case, it's nearly 40-year-old technology. You know, we've got GPS units, we've got satellite phones and that, but really, it's 40 years old, and it could still make that 1,300 miles.
Well, this car was built 50 years ago, and it's got the same engineer, and it was built to go onto the desert and stand the heat, the cold, and, you know, any type of altitude, anything.
One of the reasons we chose VW is, number one, it's affordable. Anybody can race one of these things, and people just love it. We have people coming up all the time and just saying how much they like the car. It just makes it fun to race.
I love Volkswagens. You know, Volkswagens is the people's car. We got her out of a junkyard in Oklahoma City. She didn't have a motor or a transmission. You can buy parts for them for almost nothing. I remember having to replace a fender, and the whole fender assembly and everything only cost $35. But you have to deal with her idiosyncrasies. Like sometimes she doesn't want to turn left. But, you know, these Volkswagens are tough, and they just keep on going, especially these old Beetles. All right, here we go.
I think it's really great because sometimes Bugs are overlooked, and, you know, they're not the fastest car, they're not necessarily the sexiest, but to have support from VW, you know, really gets us excited about doing this.
The narrow ribbon that takes you through the desert. When it comes to Baja, motivation can get you to the starting line, but only inspiration can help you reach the finish line. Continue to race toward Cabo San Lucas. Right now, the truck's about to reach the 200-mile mark where we saw the bikes pass through earlier. This is Garen Caliente in the 38 truck, in front as he has been since the start. This is one of the teams racing on BF Goodrich tires. BFG has just signed a 10-year extension to continue on as a sponsor of the Baja 1000.
I'd like for you to please join me in celebrating the fact that BF Goodrich Tires and SCORE International have agreed upon a 10-year contractual agreement that will allow us to be standing here when the Baja 1000 turns 50.
To hear that's another 10 years of sponsorship, I mean, to me, that just shows that the sport is growing, it's here to stay. It's exciting. I mean, I feel like I have 10 more years of racing in me, so I'm good to go.
BFG has done so much for our sport over the years, not just in providing product for some of us, but for the pit supports, for a lot of the privateers that enter the races. It enables a lot of people to race that wouldn't have ever been able to race due to their support and their support of the sport. They help lay out courses, they help the organizer, they help everyone down here.
The trophy trucks continue to race toward Cabo San Lucas. Right now, they're passing through Santo Domingo. Mark Post is in the number 3 truck. This is another example of just how close the fans can get to the race course at the Baja 1000. Post is being chased by B.J. Baldwin in the number 1 truck. Now, behind these guys, there's a battle for position, and we do mean battle. You don't see many passes like this at Baja. That is Chris Lucas in front, with Jose Flores right on his bumper. And despite the narrow path and the high cost of any mistake, Flores gets in the gas and goes for the pass. For the team of Tim Herbst, the chase continues. Now on a narrow tree-lined dirt road with a trail of dust just ahead. That dust is coming from the truck of Chad Ragland, and this is a rugged area of the course, and it had rained hard in the days leading up to the race. Now watch carefully through here. Raglan has to work hard to navigate this section. Remember the rain. He hits a puddle, and the two men in the cab are covered with mud. Raglan has to slow down to towel off. Tim Herbst has been able to make up ground, is racing right on the rear bumper, and when Raglan slows, Herbst runs into the back of his truck. Raglan continues, but Herbst is off the pace. The oddities of Baja. Here's another one. Robbie Gordon at a turnaround checkpoint. Watch Robbie get a visit to the driver's side window, then puts the truck in gear and gives the fans along the track a little Baja-style send-off. Further down the road, the most rewarding moment for any competitor, especially those on a bike. Here's the pit stop for Travis Pastrana.
Get out of there. Take your time, guys. I'm tired. Oh, what? Give me some water.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Man, this is service right here.
Okay.
Baja pit's been awesome.
One rule is you must have a strong support team because at Baja, the bizarre becomes commonplace. Wally Dallenbach is racing with off-road specialist Jesse Jones, and while Wally is racing on the ground, Marty and the support team are moving through the air.
We're on Jesse's plane. We're going from here to San Ignacio, which is, how far, Jesse?
About 675 miles.
675 miles, hour and 15-minute flight?
Something like that, yep.
Something like that, and we're going to land on a dirt road. Should be a lot of fun.
And there is San Ignacio where we're going. It tries every single bit of the energy that you have. It's a struggle down here.
It's a long race. We're fine. All right, bye. Well, that was Wally Dallenbach. He just called me from the race course on a sat phone. We just called our pit crew, and they came in and picked us up. We're about 5 minutes out of town.
And there's many things that strike you in the middle of the Baja 1000. First of all, the sun's going down. Everybody here is one team. You see people just kind of hanging out together, getting together, and doing this in the middle of the race. And it's very disappointing to be here, stranded in the middle of nowhere, not knowing when your truck is going to show up.
The support teams are as important as the driver, even with navigational devices and computers. At Baja, it used to be every man for himself.
We didn't have support. We said, okay, at this Rancho Santa Ynez, we'll leave a 5-gallon can of gas. And I knocked on the first ranch house, was supposed to have the gas. This old lady answered the door, no gasolina, no gasolina. So I went to the next ranch house, no gasolina, so I said, it's gotta be back at the first one. So I went back and knocked on the door, she answered the door, and I just walked past her and went to the back porch and started looking around the house. There was my 5-gallon can.
Sunset over the desert and into the Pacific. Darkness falls and the pressure rises. It's the end of the day, but Baja's biggest challenge is just beginning. The leaders have now raced past the halfway mark, but there are still hundreds of miles to go, and many of them under the black blanket of the dark desert sky. For the trophy trucks, a much-anticipated pit stop, and you should not feel left out. Even with a year of planning, these pit crews cannot see much more than you can. The 38 truck of Garen Caliente and Todd LeDuc is about to leave the pits. They lead the trophy truck class. Watch for the various light grids on the front of each vehicle. Every crew thinks it has the brightest idea, but for some there is no light at the end of the dark desert tunnel. Most of the night racing takes place between Bahia and San Ignacio. These hours will also include a driver change for most teams. The number 3 truck now has Rob McCachran at the wheel. He took over for 2007 CORE off-road racing champ Carl Rennesenter. The drivers have a tough job, but navigating after sunset can be a nightmare.
You see all this equipment here? I'm an open wheel driver. I got no idea about any of that stuff. I need lights to go off and tell me what's going on. So I've got to read all that stuff and tell Dan what's happening and what's coming up to him at a really quick rate of speed. We went to the Garmin. We just figure the system's better. He uses a lot in his airplanes. And so this is the only thing I know. This is what I've learned on it. It's been fabulous.
A night vision look from on board. More than headlamps help to light the way. Campfires are a tradition. In the Baja 1000, the roadside fires can help light a path through the desert. What's Baja like after the lights go out?
Baja's kind of scary at night. You know, it's so dark, and if there's no moon, it's like you turn off the lights and it's just pitch black and you have no idea where you are.
To memorize it, during the day you can see mountains and you can see fence lines and there, you know, there's landmarks that you can pick up. And at night you're just looking down a tunnel.
You can get lost. I mean, even there's cattle out there. There's horses out there. There's spectators. There's anything you can imagine can go wrong.
You know, it's Baja. Anything can happen, you know.
No matter how sweet your ride while the sun shines, the gremlins come out at night. The 38 truck continues to lead, but suddenly their ride is not as solid as it had been earlier in the race. McCachran and company are coming. At this checkpoint, the number 3 is threatening to take over second. That position is currently held by the father-son driving team of Cabo and Gus Villasola. They are trying to become the first Mexican team to post an overall win. But McCachran and company are literally right behind them. B.J. Baldwin is ready to turn the driving duties over to Danny Anderson. They're keeping pace with McCachran and hope to be able to take the lead by sunup. During the night, the fans gather at the pit stop locations scattered along the route. Many of them serving as cheerleaders, pumping up the driver and the support crew that has been waiting for hours, wondering when or if their truck will show up. And if you think the trucks have it tough, imagine this. All by yourself, in the desert, on 2 wheels, hundreds of miles from the finish, chasing through the darkness, praying for the sun to come up, and hoping you're still racing when it does. Baja 1000. More exciting than the start, more inspiring than the finish. That moment is sunrise. Veterans of the Baja 1000 will tell you it is the first true sign that you might actually make it. The sun chases away the fear of darkness and adds the light of hope to a seemingly endless chase. In Cabo San Lucas, the finish line is ready, poised to welcome those that win and those that simply survived. During the night, even the most focused competitor dreams of what this picture will look like. Steve Hengevelt from Team Honda is the first man to make the turn toward the finish. It is finally in sight. The clock is still ticking. The winning time in the 40th annual Baja 1000 is 24 hours, 15 minutes, and 50 seconds. Average speed, 53.4 miles per hour.
Congratulations. How you doing?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Yes.
This is congratulations, Steve Mansfield on the Bike 1X. Here at the finish line at Cabo San Lucas for the 40th anniversary of Tecate SCORE Baja 1000. Where'd you get on?
I got on at Loreto.
Oh, you rode all the way from Loreto to
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Long
Through the
night.
Through the
Yeah.
night, watch the sun come up.
Yeah.
You look good. Everything okay?
No, everything's
Bike okay?
perfect, yeah.
Now the wait begins. Who will come home in second place? It looks like Tim Morton. He started the race on this bike back in Ensenada, and now he takes it to the finish. It is a huge accomplishment for the team and their manufacturer, Honda. A 1-2 finish, shutting out rival KTM from the top 2 spots.
Great job.
Hey, Dad.
A big moment for Team Honda, Tim Morton, and the entire Morton family. Over an hour behind the winner is David Pearson from KTM, riding home in 3rd place. They had a flat tire that erased any chance of winning Baja in 2007. KTM was forced to play catch-up, and that's a dangerous game at Baja. Team Honda gets the victory once again. They had set the goal to win the race and beat their rival. Kelly was there when Johnny Campbell celebrated his 10th win in the Baja 1000.
10. What does that mean to you?
10 Baja victories. It's a nice even number, you know. I mean, a few years ago when it was racking up the wins, it was like, okay, this needs to be the goal. So the goal is accomplished. It's great. It feels awesome.
It just feels really great for Bruce and Johnny, Bruce Ogilvie and Johnny Campbell to ask us to ride one of their great bikes. And everything went pretty much as planned, and I just feel so special to. I'm 40, and they gave me a chance like this.
An emotional moment for Tim Morton and so many others. But the ending is just the beginning at Baja. The course was set for Cabo San Lucas, and the dust in the distance is the exciting signal that the trophy trucks are coming. The Villasolas in the number 4 truck are in second after being passed by the all-star team of McCachran, Post, and Rennezenner. Defending champion Robbie Gordon has fought his way through the dust and the darkness with little more than a flashlight. He now runs in the 3rd spot in the 71 truck. The 38 had a ring and piston problem, but the team never gave up. Victory is out of the question, but finishing is still a reward at Baja. Closing in on Cabo, they're in the 7th position. This map shows the final stretch of the race that takes the teams close to the Mexican coastline. The final miles, but still plenty of work to do. Running in the 8th spot is the team of B.J. Baldwin and Danny Anderson. They've battled back from transmission issues and finding water in the bottom of the fuel tank. After a long night, 8th position might feel like first to these guys. They're heading for Cabo San Lucas, a vacation destination for many people. But it never looked as beautiful as it does to the racers in the Baja 1000. The final few miles for the trophy trucks at Baja, where anything can happen. With the lead trucks nearing the finish, we take a moment to salute the solo rider. Those who more than 30 hours ago started in Ensenada and will finish the 1,300-mile trip with no help. Gabriel Williams, the fastest solo rider, is our Energizer Keeps Going award recipient. After nearly 1,300 miles, the trip from Ensenada to Cabo San Lucas is about to end. The fans and the fellow competitors are waiting for the trophy trucks to come around the final turn, climb the hill, and cross the finish line. Mark Post is at the wheel of the class-leading truck. He's headed for the finish, but Post wants to provide the fans before the line with a little excitement, then head for the checkered flag. 1,296 miles now behind them. They know they have beaten the odds of Baja and won in 2007. The race continues behind the winners. Tavo Villasola will finish 1 spot short of making racing history. He is second in the trophy truck class. His father, Gus, has shared the driving duties and is waiting for his son to cross the finish line. Both are happy and proud of how they finished and how close they came to winning at Baja in 2007.
Glad you're here. That's the important thing. Yeah. Great job, really. Congratulations.
Remember how Robbie Gordon started the race, spinning out in the first turn right after the green flag? Well, as you might expect, Robbie's going to finish with a flourish, just like he started. It was an extra long night of frustration, but Robbie raced through the darkness, into the sunshine, and on to a third-place finish. For Garen Cadiente and Todd LeDuc, The spirits of the night were not kind. Disappointed but determined, they answered the challenge of Baja and came home with a 7th place finish. In a long race, this is perhaps the longest mile. Some of the best have gotten this close to crossing the finish line and never made it there. After the start in Ensenada, through the wash in the early moments, across the desert, into darkness, the challenge of the night, the warm and welcome relief at sunrise, then the final seconds. After crossing the line, there is time to rejoice and reflect. For some, it is a feeling of excitement and accomplishment. But for past winners, it can be a time to think about the one that got away. Robbie Gordon's 3rd place run is impressive, but he will remember 2007 as the night the lights went out in Baja.
I saw Rob McCacker stopped on the side of the road, and I was like, hey, do I have any lights on the front of this thing? His co-driver said no, so we started stopping at every spot from there on, trying to find somebody with a little handheld. And I don't know how much time we lost, maybe 45 minutes to an hour with that. And then we lost a trans cooler as well. But besides that, I had a pretty good run.
When did it start creeping in that you might have a chance to win this thing?
Well, the closer we got, I never, the guys started talking about, we think we have this thing, and they started making some phone calls and some plans, and it's like, I've been here before. I've broken down within a half mile of the finish line before at the Baja 500, and I said, it's never over till it's over. Kept my fingers crossed, and it wasn't until I heard that truck come over that hill right there with Mark driving it that I knew we had it.
Troy Herbst brought it home for co-driver Larry Rossler and the win in Class 1. The 16th Baja win for Rossler. Here's our BF Goodrich recap. 239 teams made it to the finish line, the highest total number of finishers in race history. You can see the winners, and we want to slip a congratulations to every team, including Wally Dollabach and Jesse Jones. They came home 14th in class. For just the 2nd time in 40 years, the Baja 1000 ended in Cabo. And that's another reason why every team that reached the finish line really was a winner. Baja, from dawn to darkness and back again. Yes, the race finally ends, but the memories go on and on. This was the 40th anniversary of the Baja 1000, and some of these eyes have seen it all. It's hard to put your finger on just why these men come back here to compete year after year, but you can bet it has something to do with pride and passion. Baja brings out the boy in the man, and for some, it brings out the man in the boy. There is something to be said about crossing the Mexican desert in the middle of nowhere. But if you want to know exactly what it is, you'll have to experience it for yourself. The ultimate off-road race, a delicate ballet of dirt and discipline, where you have to stay on your toes, or you might end up on your head. It doesn't matter how you did it. All that matters is that you did. How was your vacation in Mexico? Well, tell you what, let me show you the pictures. So tonight, a toast to one of racing's most challenging flags.